Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Lailawati binti Zulkifli. My metric number is 262337. So today in this video, our group would like to present about the impacts of COVID-19 to tourism industry in Malaysia. Let's see. As we know, COVID-19 is the new disease detected from the coronavirus family, and it was first reported in Wuhan province, China in December 2019. This virus can infect humans and cause respiratory illness. Therefore, it explains why people who is positive of COVID-19 is always hard to breathe. In Malaysia, the first case reported was on 25th of January 2020. So, our country journey to fight COVID-19 began. COVID-19 is not only affecting human capital, but it is also hitting many industries in Malaysia, and tourism industry is one of it. Tourism industry is the third biggest contributor to Malaysia GDP, where it has grown significantly in recent years. The enforcement of Movement Control Order on 18th of March 2020 was the starting point for the drop in tourism industry's performance, which means MCO will affect businesses in tourism industry. But why? Because the rules under MCO that forbid any Malaysian citizen to go anywhere for tourism purpose. Therefore, in the next part, we will explain in detail what the factors that contribute to the declining of tourism industry's performance, how it gives impact to the tourism industry, and the government intervention through the implementation of the policies, and a few suggestions to help the tourism industry to grow in future.
Hi everyone, my name is Chu Hui Sing, metric number 263451. Now I'll continue with the factors that lead to negative impact on tourism industry. The first factor is absence of visitors and travel restricted because of the implementation of MCO. Tourism industry play a vital role in the economy of Malaysia. The ban of airline travel and charter flight had led to serious impact on many businesses, not only the tourism industry. Some major events such as Putrajaya International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta and the 70th edition of Powerman Malaysia had been cancelled because of this pandemic. According to MOH, there are about 170,000 of rooms were cancelled booking, which costing RM 68 million loss since 18th of March 2020. The second factor is most of our tourism market came from international arrival rather than domestic. The top 10 international tourist arrival were from Singapore, Indonesia, China, Thailand, Brunei, India, South Korea, Philippines, Vietnam, and Japan. The decline of international tourists had led to a great decrease in our GDP too. There are some weighting factors on the recovery of international tourism, which are economic environment, lack of coordinated response among countries, and so on. The third factor is cannot or do not want to change or move forward to new norms. Some elderly owners refuse to change the old pattern or old strategies in their industry business. It's important for them to move forward and use a new norms, especially for the current situation. They should adapt quickly and be ready to accommodate the change of COVID-19. They cannot continue to sustain if there are lack of competitiveness and does not promote green growth in the current situation. The fourth factor is cancellation and transfer policy. This policy reduces the profit for the aviation industry. Some passengers request to refund for their plane ticket, and some of them are only able to postpone their ticket to any date of the following 3 months. This has bring a huge impact to many industries such as the aviation industry, hotel industry, manufacturing industry, and many more. The fifth factor is engagement of media between industry is too far. The relationship of a business industry with its competitor is not so deep. They do not even contact each other when anything happens. The trust and perception of tourists to tourism industry is important in enhancing the growth of this sector too. The next factor is unable to pay back the high interest loan. Many hotels were forced to collapse and bankrupt due to no income during the pandemic. They have no enough capital to cover their costs, especially for the fixed costs. There are too less investors who are able to invest large amount of capital in the industry to ensure that the industry has enough capital. And the seventh factor is most of the workers are low-skilled workers. Digital skill is important nowadays because everything needs to implement through online. According to Ansri Richard Cole, technology will replace the manual counting people with automatic counters in the future. A company cannot compete if most of their workers under low-skilled workers. And the eighth factor is some changes faced by tourist SMEs. As we know, tourism and tourism SMEs are related and they are typically providing and fulfilling the needs of tourists. There are three main changes faced by tourism SME, which are lack of innovation, fear of competition, and lack of social protection. And the final factor is slow virus containment. The virus is slowly spreading from one place to another place because some Malaysians do not follow the SOP in Malaysia. According to New Straits Times, COVID-19 cases are emerging in some schools merely 2 weeks after the primary school reopened in March 2021. That's all from me. I will pass it to my friend. Thank you.
My name is Janelle Chankayan, matrix number 262865. Now I will be presenting on impact of COVID-19 on tourism industry. Tourism is Malaysia's third biggest contributor to GDP. The tourism industry employed 3.6 million people, which is 1 out of 4 people is work on tourism industry. The Visit Truly Asia Malaysia 2020 project was initiated for the aim of achieving 30 million tourists and 100 billion ringgit Malaysia tourism revenue targets by 2020. In last year, Malaysia recorded a total number of 4,332,722 international tourist arrival, a decrease of 83.4% from the 26,100,784 from previous year. Malaysia's tourism revenues plummeted 85.3% in 2020 from 86.14 billion in 2019 to 12.69 billion in 2020. Now we will see impact of COVID-19 on hotel business. Accommodation is the second biggest income from foreign tourists after shopping in Malaysia. The hotel industry alone is expected to lose up to 6.54 billion ringgit in revenue by 2020. We can see hotel in Penang, for example, Holiday Inn Resort Penang declared its closure on June 30th in 2020 after 40 years of service. Besides, the 5-star hotel Equatorial Penang is closed on March 31st on this year. The hotel will be the fourth to close in Penang this year after the closure of 3 others due to the COVID-19 situation last year. Now, we will see how hotels in Penang survive by diversifying their business. For the first one, Red Rock Hotel Penang, the hotel manager Jeffrey Lim is seen carrying a Manila card that reads 3 ringgit only, that referring to the food available. Besides, Jan Penang, a 5-star hotel near Komtar, has transformed its front into a hawker street, supplying food at rates that vary from standard hotel food prices that range from 6 ringgit to 8 ringgit 50 cents. The Golden Sand Hotel and Rasa Sayang Resort in Batu Ferringhi has converted their car park into a venue for stores that food costs between 5 ringgit and 12 ringgit. Last, we will see the impact on aviation. Now, we will see how COVID-19 affects aviation company in Malaysia. For the first one is Mars. They provided its total of 13,000 workers, including workers of Malaysia Aviation Group (MAG), subsidiaries such as MAB Engineering, MAB Cargo, Mars Wings, and Firefly, the choice of getting 3 months of leave without pay or 5 days of leave without pay per month for a 3-month period starting in April. For the next one is AirAsia Expert Hub. They unveiled a restructuring plan aimed at encouraging an infusion of new equity, allowing the airline to resume operations. A significant debt reduction and renegotiation of its financial commitments are expected before any new equity can be raised to reopen the airline. Last but not least, Malindo Airways. They take part in a massive retrenchment exercise as airline companies around the world investigate ways to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. They reduce its employee from 3,200 to 1,000 workers, with all affected employees set to leave by 30th of November 2020. The airline had already reduced the size of its fleet to 5 Boeing 737 and 6 ATR turboprops.
Hi, my name is Hila, matrix number 263610. So I will present about the government policies to recover the tourism industry in Malaysia. The first government policy is National Economic Recovery Plan or PENJANA. PENJANA was introduced on June 2020. Under PENJANA, business in tourism sector such as travel agencies, airlines and hotels will benefit from delayed payment of tax estimate under the scheme. Muhyiddin also reported that SMEs in the tourism sector were offered 1 billion ringgit to stay competitive in the new norm during the pandemic. PENJANA also introduced a tourism financing scheme or PTF worth 1 billion ringgit. PTF goal is to help Malaysian SMEs in the tourism industry by maintaining their potential and assisting them in adapting and remaining viable after COVID-19. The PTF will be supported by the Syarikat Jaminan Pembiayaan Perniagaan or SJPP. Furthermore, Pelindungan Ekonomi dan Rakyat Malaysia or PERMAI was introduced on January 2021. This package covers all sectors including the tourism sector. In this PERMAI package, the government continues the electricity bill discount including for tourism sector. To support bus and taxi drivers, the government has come up with one-time financial support of 500 ringgit to 118,000 taxi, school bus, tour bus, hire car and e-hailing vehicle drivers and also 140,000 tourist guide. Under Pemerkasa, for the tourism sector, the government has expanded the exemption for tourism tax and service tax for hotel accommodation until December 2021 in order to promote domestic tourism. Individuals will also get tax relief worth 1,000 ringgit whenever they purchase tourism package from tour agent under MOTEC. Besides, a one-off special assistance grant worth 3,000 ringgit will be distributed for 5,000 tour agencies and 600 ringgit cash assistance will be distributed for 4,000 homestay operators. The next one, government also introduced National Tourism Policy or Dasar Pelancongan Negara DPN on December 2020. DPN is expected to ensure Malaysia's tourism industry survive as well as to make Malaysia a popular tourist destination worldwide. There are 6 main strategies that will be used to enforce the DPN such as transforming governance, establishing investment zones for inclusive tourism projects, increasing tourism digitization, empowering the satisfaction and experience of tourists, enhancing commitment to sustainable tourism, and growing human capital in tourism subsectors. Muhyiddin said that tourism industry need to focus on digital technologies because technology has the potential to improve links between industries and prepare the way for new creative subsector that will generate both market and job opportunities. Therefore, Malaysia will establish special tourism investment zone for tourism project under DPN in order to promote technology-centered tourism investment. It is also to increase public-private cooperation and attract more local and foreign investors. Other than that, tourism Tourism Recovery Action Council, or TRAC, has been established by the Tourism, Arts and Culture of Kementerian Pelancongan Seni dan Budaya (MOTEC). TRAC was introduced to address how to ensure that the tourism sector is not threatened by the pandemic COVID-19. Therefore, MOTEC has developed a strategic action plan to help revitalize the industry and ensure the well-being of Malaysians who depend on the tourism industry. MOTEC will also launch a new tourism program to succeed the Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign, which was cancelled because of COVID-19. The initiative will be long-term in focus with the aim of strengthening the Malaysia Truly Asia brand and highlighting Malaysia's diverse experience.
For the next part, our group has come up with several suggestions to improve the tourism industry in Malaysia. The first suggestion is social media involvement. As we know, social media has a bigger impact on influencing someone to do something, especially the young people. Therefore, media involvement can help to promote any interesting destination to be visited all over Malaysia, such as Pulau Perhentian, Pulau Langkawi and many more. Moreover, it can be the cheapest and the easiest way marketing to do by people in tourism industry. This way can be conducted through the promotion in terms of price, location, special package and so on. Besides that, this suggestion can be done by the users of social media influencer, because influencers are able to attract people to do something because they have built a reputation based on their knowledge, positions and many more. The next suggestion is visit the domestic tourism industry in Malaysia. This way can help the local business to grow their business in tourism industry. At least when the number of COVID-19 cases are slowing down, people can explore more the tourist attraction in their area. For example, people who live in Kuala Lumpur can experience tourist attraction such as Zoo Negara, Kuala Lumpur Bird Park, National Museum and many more. Indirectly, this way can improve the domestic tourism industry in Malaysia. For the conclusion, we can say that the impacts of COVID-19 are really miserable towards the Malaysia tourism industry. Moreover, since we do not know when the virus will gone from our community, then the businesses in this industry should know how to operate and start over their business according to the current situation. However, the government intervention is needed in order to help the tourism industry to grow for the GDP purpose. Last but not least, all the Malaysian citizens should cooperate with the government by following the SOP that has been set to reduce the transmission of the virus. That's all from our group. Thank you very much.